All right, our next topic will focus on foreign affairs, and Chris Keating will start this round. Chris.
Yes, I believe this goes to Mr. Oakes. Is that correct? Mr. Oakes, the American military is now out of Iraq and is about to be out of Afghanistan. Clearly, the next big concern is preventing Iran from getting nuclear weapons. What is the United States' role in doing that?
See, this is actually a really interesting issue for me. First of all, let me say, we need to leave Afghanistan now. You know, I've stated before, their government basically wants us there, but clearly the people don't want us there. We need to leave there. Iran is, you know, is a hot issue right now. There are surveys, some of our own government officials and some of the Israeli government officials have said they won't have nuclear arms for 10 more years. The president, Shimon Peres, said, you know, going to war with Iran would be a huge mistake. I don't think that we should go to war with Iran at all. The steps in place now are working. We need to tighten our grip a little bit more. And I think he's just a big mouth, the president of Iran. And I think that maybe that it's not as big of an issue for us right now with the economy here in the United States and people being unemployed.
Ms. Whitnum, same question. What role should the U.S. play in preventing Iran from getting nuclear weapons?
As you know, Washington, D.C. think tank, anyway, they spawned a document called the Clean Break, a new strategy for securing the realm. And out of that think tank, and this document was a manifesto for Mr. Netanyahu. And in that manifesto, it said that a strategic Israeli objective was taking down Saddam Hussein. And this was way before the war. And they also said in that same manifesto, the think tank that came out, it was the Project for the New American Century, that toppling all dictators in the Middle East is an objective of Israel. And so all this clamoring for war, in the same way we had clamoring for war in Iraq, is we have to separate the fact from the wants, the needs from the wants. And, you know, the decision in Iraq was a disaster, and it was a neocon war. A handful of people from this think tank wanted that war, and we gave it to them. And for that reason, because Netanyahu clamors so hard for us to take down Iran, just say no to Mr. Netanyahu.
Ms. Bysiewicz, what should be done about Iran and nuclear weapons?
Iran should not be allowed to have nuclear weapons. We should continue with the sanctions and expand them. Those sanctions are working. We should also expand diplomatic efforts. We should keep encouraging Mr. Assad to leave, because his departure will be a tremendous blow to Iran. And we should also support Israel, because they are our strongest ally in the Middle East. And we should avoid military action. That should be a last resort.
Mr. Murphy, what should the U.S. role be?
Well, the Iranian president has made it really clear he wants to wipe Israel off the face of the planet, and we're not far behind. I think you've got to take this guy seriously, especially if they are on the verge of having nuclear weapons. I think Ms. Bysiewicz is right. Sanctions are working today. We are on the verge of implementing a historic oil embargo. As a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I've been proud to work with the President to try to make sure that we join with the EU to provide these crippling sanctions. Already, the Iranian economy is being hurt by that. The rial, the Iranian currency, has already fallen by about 40%. We're starting to see some breakthroughs with China. Their biggest insurer has already refused to insure ships that are bringing oil into Iran. These sanctions can work. It doesn't mean, though, that we should take military action off the table. It should be an absolute last resort, because you have to take this guy seriously when he says these things. This has to be a priority for U.S. foreign policy and a priority for the next United States Senator from Connecticut.
Can we rebut that?
Mr. Tong goes next right now, and maybe later.
Thank you. I'm committed to a concept known as Global Zero. Zero nuclear weapons on the earth. A world free of nuclear weapons. And that starts with Iran. We cannot have and cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Now, I agree with my colleagues. We're on a very strong course right now with sanctions. It's working. The rial has fallen by half. Inflation is rampant, and the people of Iran have shown that they want change, democratic change in Iran, and they want it soon. What we need to do is expand our diplomatic efforts. Right now, our trading partners, including China, including South Korea, they're doing business with Iran. And those economies, including China, are slowing. They're going to need our help. They need access to our markets. So our diplomatic relationship with China and other countries should be expanded. We should say to them, look, if you want our help, if you want access to our markets, it's all one big puzzle. It's all part of one big equation. We need your help in Iran, and we need your help negotiating with President Ahmadinejad, or, it's not entirely clear, Ayatollah Khamenei.
All right, thank you all very much. We're going to pause for just a quick moment for a quick break, but we have more questions for the candidates when we return to the U.S. Senate Democratic debate from the campus of the University of Connecticut.